Welcome to the Enlifement space. Glad to be back again after a few weeks off. Not my choice, but that's what was, which is what life is every moment. Leknondeo klatsosiante venjim tekeneba kashon ken kiano klasse benya kajen orhiana kle aso dembrena klatu sadyan tekeneba sha hila akran chaka venjan tekaniero sokian vanja ikasha Nemrek de Krashotom Bea, Candina, Krashodaven Che de Noka, Vinda, Akadirasa, Dimbrana Krashoden, Varshati Venoka, Vendim ne Krashode Bea, Kasha, Zueshoraka. The work of life, of the consciousness, of all of us that connect, is an all-inclusive process. These past few weeks, looking at the media and the abundance of problems, you can see underlying that is that separation, various beliefs, concepts, and conditioning that people cling to. It makes quite a job, really, to be all-inclusive, to be all-allowing, as is the consciousness. To allow these things, to accept that the highest good is taking place. When all around us is conflict and contrariness to anything that's organizing a oneness, a unity, a place where we connect. And it seems that this is the whole world. I look at the internet and I see that all these countries are having the same kind of problems. Where the far right, or whatever you want to call it, is getting themselves into place of power and control. It seems so contrary to life and what we know as life in this consciousness. Such a conflict. I find it difficult to constantly embrace it. Because what's the point? To watch humanity slide backwards into the dark ages. But also knowing the highest good is taking place. And I realized when that knowing came, it was, doesn't mean you'll like it. But the highest good is taking place. So we look in these instances in the media the stuff that is taking place, trying to see an underlying force that is changing things. That saying, it is darkest before the dawn. Maybe it is the darkest before the coming of the consciousness in full realization for humanity. That is what I'm about. That is what I hold. That is what I see and know. And that knowing is in conflict, is contrary to what is going on around. But I realize that the mind is not the center of the consciousness. The whole being is the center of the consciousness. So every aspect, every particle of ourself has a knowing, has a position, has a happening. So we cannot depend on the intellect to know, for it is the body. The body that is the consciousness that holds the absolute knowing of possibilities and the ability to implement these possibilities in the world around us, not through force, but through example, through the lack of conflict in our own life, the lack of dominant beliefs that say this is the way it is. For there is no this is the way it is. There just is the way it is. And that's constantly changing. And it becomes a fertile ground for transformation, for awakening. Simply to require patience and allowing. This all-inclusive isness, embracing all that is in inclusion, saying this is all part of the becoming. Hard to see through the intellect, but the heart knows a different story. The heart knows a different way of seeing, as the body knows a different way of seeing. So we are not just the mind, we are a body that is the consciousness. And so its experience is far different from that of the intellect. The intellect is but a small part of this knowing. And it's the most programmed part of this knowing. So as we abandon beliefs and concepts and conditioning, we allow for the consciousness to begin to take its rightful place as the Creator itself, the all that is. It seems to be a difficult process, but yet it is taking place. It is hard to have faith in that, but when you realize it is the knowing that resides within your very core being, that is what is transformation. And so we become particles of light in this world that hold the consciousness as a seed that will sprout, that will grow, that evolves constantly. We just have to know that within ourselves. And I know it may be difficult to accept, but yet we cannot abandon the true knowing of this consciousness. We cannot relent from it. We must keep holding the highest possibility we can imagine within our whole beingness. For that is where the truth lies, not in the intellect. The intellect is hampered by beliefs and concepts and conditioning, which tries to condition the body. But the body has the ability, as the consciousness itself, to transcend those things, to move beyond them, if given the opportunity through allowing the possibility. We allow the possibility for the transformation of humanity by our very presence as the consciousness. I am that, the consciousness, present, being, through allowing, on purpose, with intention. Allowing intention is kind of strange. That's what it is. We allow the possibilities to unfold. And this unfolding is systematically unraveling beliefs and concepts and conditioning. We may not be able to intellectually see that, but our knowingness knows it as the truth. We hold that truth in the most sacred place of our beingness, the very consciousness itself, as it moves in all matter of directions and possibilities and experiences. And we strive to see every experience as part of this unfolding. Every experience is on purpose. The intellect may not like that, but to accept it moves us forward. To resist it pushes us backwards. We've had the dark ages already, we don't need them again. We don't need the severe conditioning beliefs and concepts that control, that try to control. We need the freedom of the consciousness itself in an absolute knowing and awareness that it is all-powerful. A quiet power, a silent power, but yet, nevertheless, you can see its action in the very core of your life as you allow, as you embrace, as you discover. You find yourself becoming a pillar of awareness that holds light as consciousness in every activity of your life, every aspect of your life, every experience of your life. The breakthrough is happening because of the crises that is happening. The calamities bring on the transformation. So we see, we can take heart that all is well as the consciousness. All is well within ourself as we embrace the totality of our beingness in this possibility. I know it's allow. But what else can we do? Nothing else works. We cannot force change. We cannot resist the things that are taking place. That just empowers them. Embracing has a miraculous power of its own that causes things to shift. It's like giving everything a better place to be, a higher place to go, a more connected place of beingness. So that is what we are about. That is what we do. So we say, welcome to the consciousness, one and all. Your life will never be the same once you awaken to your true beingness as the consciousness. thank you for being with us today. And thank you for your love and your support. We stay connected to our awareness, moment by moment.
Todd says, thank you so much, Ishvara.
You're welcome.
And he adds, much love.
Thank you, Todd. Love back to you. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for your love and support.